Hello. Hello, Ryuya. Hello, Queerly. Hello, Great Glacier. Ryuya, congratulations, you're first. Glacier, congratulations, you're not first. No one can ever take that away from you. Hello, hello, hello. It has been a minute. 1 minute. I was here 1 minute ago. Did you see me? No? Hi. Bob. Hi. 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 I had a great trip. Um, it was a combination Mother's Day, Birdathon, and helping my parents with a bunch of yard work. And then it was hot, so I cut all of my hairs off. Behold. Um, yeah. So I had a good time. It was fun. It was refreshing. It kind of kick-started my sleep patterns into a healthier one. I've been waking up at like the morning. Amazing. Um, so yeah, we're doing good. Uh, for today, what we've got, if you were looking in Discord, that picture of a raw chicken in a pot. Well, he's been in that pot there, the magic pot, set to slow cook since I took that picture. He's just crossed over the 6.5 hour, no, the 5.5 hour mark. 5.5 hour mark. I turned the temperature down on him after 4.5 hours. Because I peaked and he was looking mostly doneish. But it's just been on slow cook with nothing in there. We're gonna see what it does. This is an experiment. I've never done a slow cook of a whole chicken. Um, in terms of what we're gonna do with them, well, specifically, it's gonna come down to what it seems like when I get in there. Is it tender? Is it chewy? Is it and also how much drippings we've got? That's gonna affect it. But we're gonna make. What did I get on my arm? How did I get something on my arm? Um, we're going to make rice and we're going to think. So I'm conceptually thinking of um, Hainan rice, the white rice with uh, poached chicken. Looks real sad and pale, but then it's all these accessories, hot sauces and pickles and just stuff that you pile on and you make this vibrant thing. Um, that's the kind of the vague, loose concept. I'm not making that exactly, or potentially at all. Um, but that's the plan. If I take a peek in here, avoid the steam. There's quite a lot of drippings at the bottom. You know what? Let's give the old chicken a temperature test. Just see what we're working with. Poke him right there. He's hot. He's very hot. He's very hot. He's definitely done the little bit of sort of. Did I melt the chicken? My hope is that it is as close to fall off the bone tender as you can get with chicken without it literally falling off the bone. Um, I That's the hope. That's the goal. It's been in there long enough that it should have rendered out any connecty bits into the juice at the bottom. And the connecty bits, of course, are what holds the chicken together. So we should just have a disintegrating chicken, which is also why I put it in the magic pot, because it's got that rack with the little handles on it. If I put it in my regular, just old-fashioned crock pot, I think I'd have a hard time getting it out without breaking it in half. Um, the rack means I can just lift the rack straight out. That's the plan. That's the goal. I'm also looking at what else I've got to work with around here. I'm doing my wander. I've got the tail end of our fajita sauce. I think we should do something with that. I've got pickles. I've got. Well, for one, I've got a leek. But Vidalia onions are in season. I've got a Vidalia onion. Bookwoman with Prime, 41 months. You're one away. You're one away. But yeah, Vidalia onion, sweet Vidalia. And thank you so much for the Prime sub. So yeah, I have a very, very loose concept of how this is going to end up. How big is that chicken? Well, about as big as the pot. Whoa, Raiuya, kicking off a hype train. 24 months. Dang. Well, thanks. In terms of weight, in terms of how much it weighs, I have no idea. In terms of how big it is, the picture in Discord, that's how big it was. It kind of filled up the pot. It's a little bit smaller now because it's shrunk up a little bit, but it doesn't shrunk up that much. Gosh, you guys, I suppose I took a week off right when everyone wanted to do their renewal, didn't I? Almost a year. That's right. Just you get there. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I'm. Another thing I was looking at. I'm kind of still wandering and thinking about ideas. Another thing I was thinking about was trying to do something in the vein of a jollof. And then the chicken can actually be a more plain addition to an extremely flavorful base. That seems like an interesting change up. Still might do bits and dashes. Also, Bookwoman specifically, look what I found. There it is. Sea salt. They have indeed been located. So now they're there, so I won't lose them. They're out in the open and visible. So yes, the plan. We're gonna do something with that chicken. We're gonna do something with that onion. We're gonna do something with the end of this spicy sauce from the fajitas. We've got scallions. We've got bell peppers. We've got rice. Rice is going to be a main thing. I've got a little jar of something. Whoa, Flemish. Oh, that's lamb fat. I was wondering what that little jar was. That's my jar of lamb fat. Don't lose him. Flemish, 22 months. Oh, guys, you're 7%. You're 7% away from the hype train level up. I did cut my hairs. It was quite warm. It was very warm on Saturday. So I went and I did a full workup. You can really see where I don't have enough hair on top to fill it in. So that's, yeah, we're gonna. That's where our plans are. Whoa! Jen! Jen! Coming out of left field from downtown. And Ryu with the gift sub. My God, guys. I suppose I should start cooking. Distract you guys from this nonsense. Ryu, thank you for giving a gift sub to Queerly. And Jen, thank you for subscribing for 34 months. Good Lord. Good Lord. And welcome in, Jen. Let's get over to the countertop. Let's get over here to the countertop. Let's get the bigger cutting board out. So, a sweet Vidalia onion. Oh God, guys. And that kicked us into Hype Train Mark II. Good Lord. Good Lord, guys. Why do you pay for this? You could have this for free. Yep, my sweet Vidalia onion's got a little soft spot already, and I just bought it today. So, I rarely get these. I rarely get the sweet onion. But it felt like an occasion. I think we're going to lose another layer. They didn't look the best to my viewing this year. If you've never had a Vidalia onion, because my stream is worth it. We love the taste and pace. Yes, the epic taste and pace. Hang on, I wanna test this guy. You're supposed to be able to just eat these like an apple, because they're supposed to be like so sweet. Not quite. Definitely sweeter than a normal white onion, but I don't know about that eat them like an apple thing. That seems like not the thing. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. Of course you would, Bob. Of course you would, Bob. I would expect nothing less from you, Bob. Anyways, I think I'm going to use up half of this guy. And we're going to start him early. So the trouble I've had with today's food concept, I can't say I particularly enjoyed it. It definitely didn't blow my face off the way a normal raw onion would, but it's not, they're not quite that sweet. The problem I have with today's concept is the thing I think I wanted to make initially, the way I was going to make it was going to take about 6 hours. But most of that time was just the thing sitting in the slow cooker. The actual active cook time, I don't know, 30 minutes? Real short. Too short for like doing showtime. So we're kind of winging it. We're just kind of fudging it. Getting out a pot. Ooh. Oh man, Flemish got a really good one. What did I get? Oh, I got the really good one. I got the fish. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Okay, onion. Well, thank you guys for that. Welcome back, Hype Train. Exciting. Let's see, we need some oil. We can use olive, I think. Some oil, some heat, some salt. Oh, Bookwoman got the little cat with the glasses. That one's adorable. Okay. Jay. Oh, Jay. Jay, you missed the hype train by like 2 minutes. Jay, what are you doing? What are you doing? 24 months. 24 months. That's almost a year. Let's see. So, half a sweet onion. Jay, how's it going? How's Jay? Do I have any ginger? Ooh, I don't think I picked up any ginger. I haven't restocked the old stocks since I got back, and I kind of drew down on things before I left. Should be garlic in here. There's still garlic in here. Getting a little sprouty. Jay worked the long weekend. Day off tomorrow. It was a long weekend? What was the long weekend? My calendar only has World Migratory Bird Day. That's when I was gone. It's last weekend. The trip was good. I was meant talking a little bit about it at the beginning. I will go into more detail while we start to cook here. So the main thrust of the trip was the 15th annual Big Bay Birdathon, which is a charity birding competition. And that was the main focus. That took up Friday and Saturday. It also took up part of Thursday because we had to do some scouting. Because you got to pick a prime route before you actually get out there and bird. Canadian birthdays, or Canadian holidays. My team got a total of 95 birds this year. We just under that 100 mark, which is sort of the like feel good, nice round number. But 95 is still really good. And the group in total collectively got 206 birds, which is quite a good haul, and raised, I want to say, $6,000, something like that, for pollinator habitat. But it was a great time. Those 95 birds are now the majority of my yearly bird list. And then also, it was Mother's Day the day after that, so I spent time with my mother, who was my teammate on the trip, on the birdathon. And then I got conscripted to do a bunch of yard work with my young muscles and my young bad back and my young bum shoulder. Okay. I'm going to take the temperature down a smidge on our onions. I would like them to render slowly. We're not going for a full caramelize. I'm actually doing fine. My shoulder got a little bit tweaked after I got here. The most interesting bird. Bob only cares about my stop at Newski's. I stopped at Newski's. The most interesting bird. There's a couple ways to define that. Overall, on the trip, the most interesting bird, the most surprising bird was a Harris's sparrow that unfortunately was there the day before the competition and it did not make a reappearance, which is sad because it would have been the first and only record of a Harris's sparrow for the entire 15-year run of the Birdathon. They are not common. They are quite not common. For the actual event, I think the one that tickles me the most is we were in progress and we got a hot tip. We got a hot bird tip, which was I was out walking my dog and I saw a merlin, and we drove over and we found the merlin. So a merlin, which is a small falcon, if you're not familiar. The fact that it was a in the moment hot tip was just great. And Bob, yes, I stopped at Newski's. So I've gone on about how much meat I've got. So I didn't really pick up a ton new meats. I did pick up Wittenberg Wiener, which I asked what these were, and she said, basically, it's a hot dog in a brat casing, and then they smoke it. It is more of a bird wizard than you think, Queerly, because the Merlin the wizard is named after Merlin the bird. Yeah, Harris's sparrow as a bird in general isn't rare, but they're quite rare for the area. They're one of those ones that's just well outside of its normal area. Okay, these are coming along. I'm going to crush up some garlic. Oop, my garlic got sprouty while I was gone. Oh, and the garlic, little weird cloves. Bunch of little weird cloves. But yeah, in general, that was the trip. That piece of garlic, you guys are over there. So normally when I see the little scars on the garlic, I just ignore them because they're, whatever. That one looks like something burrowed into it. So I'm just going to get rid of that entire clove rather than risk finding somebody inside of it when I get in there. So yeah, no, the trip was good. Weather was quite good. It was kind of chilly, but not like cold. It got hot after I got back. I wasn't really a fan of that, and it's gone back to being kind of not so hot, which I like more. I've been resisting hooking up my air conditioner. It has definitely been warm enough at least one day to do it, but I have a window unit, so I have to put it in the window. And once I've got it in, it's not a perfect air seal, so it leaks humid air in when it's set up. So I don't want to set it up until I know I'm ready for it to need it. Because it's probably going to run most of the time. Although, I'm also putting it off because I think I have to go get a new one. Yes, the timing was actually really good. Many of the trees hadn't quite opened their leaves fully, which meant you could actually see things. Now, just a week later, boy, most of the trees have mostly opened all of their leaves. There's only a few stragglers, which makes especially getting those little warblers quite a lot more of a challenge. Oop, that one's real gnarly. Okay, let's sweep up the debris. Let's make sure I haven't burnt my onions. I'm going to take them down a little bit again because they are browning. They smell nice. They smell a little bit different than your standard onion. Okay, you guys are over there again. No, that's me. There we go. This garlic has already annoyed me by being all these little tiny bits. I'm going to do a mince on it. Or one of these, the old crush and slice. So how have you all been while I was gone? What's new? I always want to hear about things. Aside from Jay. I kid. It's just that you already chimed in with how you were doing. Oh yeah, Bob wanted to hear about the Newski strip. So, Newski's in Wittenberg has it's their headquarters. It's also their factory. where they are producing all of the things that you find in the grocery stores. Hot dogs, bacon, all the basics. On the outskirts of town, they have what they call the company store. And it has all those basic things as well, but also way more than that. It has the whole meat case. It has every variety of everything they make. Smoked duck, smoked pheasant, smoked everything smoked. Well, not everything smoked, because while I was there, somebody said, "I'll take one of those ribeyes," and those weren't smoked, and I kind of questioned going to Nueske's for non-smoked meat. Okay, onions, garlic. I'm right. I thought when I first heard it was like, oh, a smoked ribeye sounds great. But then I looked over at the case and it's just normal like raw meat. So it's I'm gonna put a little powdered ginger in here because I don't have any fresh right now. It's too far away for me to make regular trips. Unfortunately, it's on the. When they're not doing all the road construction. Man, the road construction. With road construction, it was a 4-hour trip. Without road construction, it's normally a 3-hour trip. But Nueske's is like at the 2.25-hour mark of the trip, so it's pretty far out there. I can't really justify making a trip specifically for Nueske's. I think I'm leaning into just spicing this part quite heavily. I think that's going to be the plan. So let's add a few things. We're going to throw in some freshly ground cumin. Oh, and one of these guys. One of these little hot peppers. That one. Just one of them, though. And it's going to go in there. It's going to boil in with the liquid. Yeah. 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 But per your betting it smells wonderful in there, Bob, it does indeed. I think it's just infused into the building at this point. It just smells of smoked meats. Wow, that was a dry pepper. That was an especially dry pepper. And a little chunk of stem that we're not going to throw in there. So, fresh cumin, some crushed up hot pepper. Let's get them started with our onion and garlic. We'll probably end up with some paprika in here. Before the end, I am going to turn the chicken pot fully off, because we don't need that no more. So I've got a can of tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, with the idea of, if I was going to head in the direction of a jollof, throw them in there, cook all the liquid out of them, and then throw rice in there, or no, throw them in there, throw them in there, cook the liquid out of them, and then add more liquid back with the rice to make a finished rice. Now I'm kind of hesitating on throwing the tomatoes in there. What I want to really look at is how much chicken liquid did I get out of the pot. Let's find out. Only one way to do it, and that's to do it. We're going to move our board. Get out a drip catcher here. Okay, chicken. It's coming out. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to see what we want to do with this chicken. It's hot. Oh, we actually didn't get. Oh, interesting. So, as expected, kind of pale. Oop, there's a trapped bubble of chicken juice there. The drippings don't look all that good. I might just try to chuck them in with our onions and then turn them into part of our rice. Because then I don't have to look at them. But there's going to be flavor in there. But there's that's going to be awkward. No, I can do that. Join me over here again. That heat down. There. Let that little thing drain right into our pot. So this goop is because it was frozen, no doubt. Made the degoopening slightly worse. Magic pot can just go there. But this stuff is just like protein paste. It should be very easy to break it up. and then you don't have to look at it. It also occurred to me that I didn't check the cavity of the chicken for, like, giblets. I didn't see any melted plastics or anything. I don't see any, like, bits in there, so here's hoping we got away with that. That smells intensely chickeny. I feel like the Magic Pot isn't as good at preserving drippings as the classic crock pot. But it might just be a case of there's less drippings to preserve coming off of a chicken than off of a pork. Yeah, I didn't, there was no sign of giblets. I didn't see, there's nothing in there. It didn't occur to me until just now. That, I think I'm not adding tomato. I think I'm skipping, at least I'm not adding the big tomato. I'm probably gonna just give it a shot of tomato paste. There's also, oh, there's already some salt in it, because I salted the onion. Let's just give it a squeeze of tomato paste. Cook that out. And then we can just add liquid, because this is gonna be turned into rice. And it's a good excuse to use up the end of that too with tomato paste. Okay. Now, what are we actually doing with the chicken? Is it as tender as I hope? I guess we have to take a chunk off and find out. So while our pot is working on itself over there, let's see what the various parts of this chicken ended up like. Oh, there is a giblet because there's a neck. That's not attached to the critter. Okay, so there were a giblet in there. Well, if I find a little melted plastic bag inside of there, then I'll know that they gave me like one of those little sachets. But I was gonna just kind of give it a try. I did notice he's got a little bit of his knuckly skin still on his ankles there. But this was the main experiment. My main experiment today was just, can I slow cook a whole chicken? And if so, what does it do? I mean, the skin's a little flabby, but it seems very tender. It just pulls apart. The skin just comes right off, too. Okay. Breast is definitely a little dry. I wonder if I shouldn't have put some water in at the bottom to start it, so that it would spend more time steaming, because I feel like it I don't have any duck fat. I have lamb fat. What does the skin taste like as is? The skin actually tastes really good. It's super tender. It's super tender. The fat under the skin has fully rendered out, so it is left at that sort of really soft, like post-rendered fat thing. We are adding water to that. Stirring it in. Add another half of water to that. Bring the heat up on it. Should not have used the white spatula for this. Rice. Rice is over yonder. Yonder. So the skin doesn't look very good on this, but it actually tastes quite good. The breast meat's a little dry. I bet you the legs are better. But I might have left it in there a little bit too long. We might have left it in there just a smidge too long. Where's my half cup? Half cup. Which is... I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got that sort of tearing texture when the muscle fibers get too short or get too tense, but they just bust apart from each other. Otherwise, it tastes like chicken. Given that it's a bit dry, we're going to focus on making sure that I've got sauces and things to amp it up. I think I probably could have headed that off if I had, like, buttered under the skin. Moisten. Exactly. Over yonder, I'm throwing in a cup of rice. We're going to stir that in. And we're going to lid it. Heat down. Now that should be done when the moisture that's in there is all absorbed. I did not rinse my rice, so it's probably going to be a little bit on the gluey side. Now, what do I do with the chicken? Do I just serve pale chicken? No. No. Join me. Because I think you can just grab one of these legs and like that is where I want to be. And I feel like I ran into the same problem that one always runs into with doing a whole chicken together, in that this part and this part don't ever want to be cooked together. Because the legs seem perfect. Just pull off tender. And the breast seems overdone. So, I wish I had gotten a little bit more on the drippings side. We're in breaking this whole thing down anyways. So I've got leg 1, leg 2. That can't go like that. That's gotta just get a plate. Just get a plate. Just get a plate. Do it on a plate. Yes. Well, that's also part of the plan: is cook a whole chicken and then have parts of the chicken for a while. The main experiment here was, can you slow cook a whole chicken? And if so, well, you can. But when you slow cook a whole chicken, is it any good? And what I'm getting is that the dark meat bits seem just fall apart tender. And it's the breast that's an issue. See if I can get this guy off of the rack without... I would like you off of this rack, please. His bottom skin's stuck to the rack. And I'm going to just discard. Put that over here. Put that over there. I'm not going to discard anything just yet. But the bottom skin might end up discarded. As a heads up. The skin just straight up fell off of that thigh. So the thighs don't look super good for presentation, but they seem mega tender. Oh, I wonder if slow cooking the whole thing breast down would have worked. Ooh. Talk about fall off the bone tender. There's a bone. From one of the drumettes up here. Yeah, I think doing this back the other way around, so that the drippings all sort of drip into the breast as it renders. That might improve things. Because as it stands, I think I've got some really good part. Like this is just glistening with moisture. That's good chicken. Now that's some good chicken. And every bit of this just kind of comes off in an instant. So it accomplished what I wanted it to do. Do you poach? I've never actually made Hainan chicken for real. It was an inspiration for this, but I've never done it for realsies. That would make sense. I think I'm just picking. I think I'm just picking meat at this point. I'm going to throw the bones away. Well, I do have another whole chicken, so I can repeat this experiment. Let's skin. It has accomplished what I wanted in terms of the tenderness of everything. So I think it is worth trying it again. Oh boy, yeah. Every little bit is just ready to fall apart. Okay, okay. Well, it should. Yeah, it should just come right off, right? And yes, indeed, it just shears right off of the carcass. Like the wishbone didn't. You can't split the wishbone. Yes, there's enough chicken meat. So I have one of my friends gets a whole chicken on the regular and then breaks it down and does stuff. Does stuff with it. I don't typically do that because I really don't like breaking down the chicken when it's raw. I've done it. Not a big fan of the process. Part of the thought process here is if I see a whole chicken, I can do this to it and have chicken parts for, yeah, a week. But I want to nail down a process to ensure that I'm doing it and getting an optimal, or at least highly usable end result. And this is not exactly what I was hoping for, but only because the breast is kind of dry. Everything else, the carcass just comes right off. The skin just peels off in a big flap. Like a nice, clean, mostly clean, little bit of bit on the bottom. Chicken breast right there. And actually, that part wasn't as dry. It's only dry really on like the outer surface, I think. Okay. Yeah. So what am I going to do? Finished plate today. We're definitely not using all of this chicken today. This is too much chicken. I'm going to save a bunch of this and make other chicken dishes. I think we could just pull the bones out of the thighs, since they don't really look like a servable piece anyways. That is the tail and some skin. So skin has a lot of flavor, a very chickeny flavor, which is why I set some of the skin aside over there. Bring this thigh back. Oop. That thigh is actually a lot of bone. bones. That's your really tender thigh meat. And I'm not worried about saving the bones for stock because it's been in there so long and it's obviously so rendered down that I can't imagine we're going to get anything more out of those bones. I bet you this bit, though, in fact, I'm going to not bet you, I'm going to prove it by peeling a piece off. Other than it being completely unseasoned, that is just beautifully cooked bit of chicken right there. Okay, I find this process promising. I think I put it in there for too long. I think setting it up right, exactly. That's the idea here, except because occasionally I'll see a whole raw chicken on discount. And it would be nice to have something in my back pocket where I can just go, yep, I'll take that and I'll do this with it as a default. Because they aren't really great for long-term freezing. That's the thing. They're too big. I don't have the big... I don't want to touch anything because my hands are all chickeny. I feel like I want to save the breast and see if I can't do something with it to make it less dry and serve today some of this dark meat. My hands are very chickeny, but it's all the delicious part, but I'm going to wash my hands so that I can touch other things. Okay, yeah. I'm glad I put it on the rack. I think it would have been very difficult to pick up without it falling apart normally. I wonder if doing it for a longer time at a lower temperature would prevent it from drying out the breast quite as much. And I also want to try, yes, exactly what you said there, of putting the breast down and maybe putting a little bit of liquid at the bottom for it to rest in so that that part doesn't dry out quite so much. And then, yeah, I think I put it in there a little bit too long. I should have checked it for temp more often and stopped it when it was pretty good temp. On the other hand, I think this part where it kind of retreats and exposes the bone on the legs is an excellent indicator of doneness. Because I know ribs, that's how I like my ribs, where they've started to shrink back. What I was going to do is ask the internet how to save a dry chicken breast. Reheat it in liquid. Okay, reheating it in liquid. I want to serve the legs, I think. I think our rice is going to end up being red, right? The rice is end up being weird. Oh. Well, it's not fully stuck, but it was definitely trying to stick to the bottom. And it is definitely not enough liquid in there. Okay. Open that up, bring the temperature back up, add more water. I am bad at making stovetop rice of any type. Should have just done this in the rice cooker. It's actually not too late. I could dump it in the magic pot and do it in there. What am I doing? I'm all distracted by nothing. I'm distracted by myself. I'm just distracting myself with nothing. We're changing our mind again. We're gonna. Oh, yeah. It falls apart, but it also kind of shreds. I'm not getting nice pieces. The chicken breast needs something to do with it. So the idea with the chicken is I want to serve it so it's visible, not just mixed in, but when the rice ends up on the plate, I want visible, nice looking chicken. This, the breast is really dry and needs to be done with something with, and I don't think I'm going to today. So I'm going to get a container. Cutting it was basically no effort, which is a good indicator. But I think we need to revisit it with a sauce or something. A sauce. That'd be a good excuse for me to come back later in the week. Unfortunately, I was given all closing shifts for the remainder of the week. I could try browning. I kind of think I want to do the thigh meat just splayed out. We will let that. Okay, chicken breast is set aside. It is off. It is off the table. We're dealing with this bit. We're dealing with we want side dishes as well. We want or not side dishes, but like fancy plating stuff. I've got ideas. This a couple of those guys. Some. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, that's right. I got a new one because I finished the old one. And I put it somewhere. That's pork song. That's tteokbokki. That's udon broth. I've got a fresh jar of laoganma because I finished my old one. Where did I put it? There it is. It's on my alcohol shelf. I guess what I'm going to do now is kind of watch the rice. Because I think it's misbehaving. Brown the chicken. I don't know that I want to. I think I want the pale chicken. That rice is still crunchy. Oh, the flavor's interesting. Oh, the flavor's interesting. Oh, the flavors are not what I was expecting. Oh, but it's given me notions. It's giving me notions. It's also not spicy at all. It's probably a good thing. Because then I can control the spice levels. It wants a dash of acidity. And it actually wants some more salt as well. And I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it wants a little bit more salt to also amp up its tomatoiness with one of these little tomato stock cubes. That. We'll let that melt that cube. We will. So what I want to do is put the rice in this bowl so that I can invert it onto my plate and have a nice dome. Next to it, we're going to serve the chicken, which has cooled off, because of course it has. I don't know why I would expect it to have not cooled off. I feel like I need to do something with the chicken that's not just naked chicken. So let's grab another pan. gonna do it with the cast iron. Chili crisp, garlic, ginger, scallion dipping sauce. We're gonna do scallions. I'm out of fresh ginger, and there's garlic and ginger in the rice already. I was going to put some pickly thing on the side. I was gonna put some. Gonna put some onion on the side, but there's a whole bunch of onion in our rice already. What do I want? I haven't done this for 2 weeks and I've lost my mind. There's the lawn mowing tomorrow, or next door. I almost said lawn mowing tomorrow. Okay. This. Oh, that's the shamiest shame that's ever shamed. Not this that's in my hand. You don't even look at that. Don't even look at that one. That one's fine. Don't worry about that. I guess we are using some lamb fat then, because the other one was not looking so good. Lamb fat is absolutely rock hard. Lamb fat is as hard as like beef tallow. It's like candle wax when it's set up. Back over. They're mowing the lawn. There they are. Okay, we're gonna melt that. I'm gonna check on my rice. I shouldn't be checking on my rice like this, but you know, I'm real bad at stovetop rice, so. Actually, lamb fat. Mind change. Get that like that. Since I already sliced this one up, just yeah. Well, I've changed my mind so many times today on just the concept of what I'm making. At almost every turn here, I'm just something completely different. Okay, but if I've got the lamb fat and the chicken, we want to add some salt. We want to add some more fat, and I'm not going to just use a bunch more lamb fat. I am going to actually add lard to this one. And a goodly amount of it as well. Fish the chicken out of the lard rather than eating all that lard, but we're kind of gonna low temp that. We're kind of gonna fry it. We're kind of gonna try to re-warm it. I mean, we're absolutely explicitly gonna fry it, but we're kind of gonna try to be gentle with the fry on it, and see if we can't get it to pick up some of this fat. Okay. And that means I'm going to save most of the dark meat, which is going to probably be easier to use. I still want to serve us with a leg, at least one of the legs. But my theory here is, with the meat, the chicken meat being very dry, it should be ready to take up some of the fats here, which then should in turn make the chicken less dry, right? Make sense? I don't know, man. We're off in directions today. Y'all glad you subscribed for this nonsense now? Okay, my tomato bouillon cube has melted. Oh, there's a little piece of pepper stem. Don't want that. The bouillon cube has fully melted, which makes the thing a bit redder. We will test our rice for crunchiness. We don't want it crunchy. Got a little bit of a firmness still to it. Not massively, but I'm going to give it another splash. Relit it, and now we want to really get it good. The chicken is looking a lot better. We'll heat off that. We will add some fresh pep, add some smoky pap. Add some garlic. Okay. Get those guys tossed around in that stuff. Ooh, the smoked paprika was a good choice. That's a bone. We're gonna dispose of that. We're gonna eliminate the bone. Okay, that heat is already off. I want room in pan on the near side, please. Boy, it really did pick up. It really did soak up most of that fat that was in the pan there. Impressively. We're legs and an inappropriately sized and slightly wet lid. Okay. So I can't. Okay. Fresh jar of Laoganma. Vacuum sealed for my protection. Fresh spoon. Bob's favorite thing, other than smoked meat. It's good stuff. It's really, really good stuff. Now that it is opened, it goes into the refrigerator. The magic cold box that is just straight up magic. I want some scallion. Scallions looked kind of awful, which is weird because it's like spring onion season, so I'm not sure where they're getting them at my store, but they looked kind of terrible. There's one. It's all shredded up. There's one, and one of the leaves is gone droopy on it before I even got to it. They're also all curling, like they've been in storage too long. So we're going to immediately peel the gnarly layer off of that one. I'm just gonna lose my bottoms and lose my tops. Oh, the tops don't look very good either. In exchange for them looking kind of gnarly, they were 30 cents a bunch. So I said, sure, I'll probably throw away 20% of those because they look kind of gnarly. But at 30 cents, I can afford it. So there we go. I heard something pop back there, which is probably the chicken legs getting too sizzly for their britches. Let's find out. They're not getting any color, and they're not sticking. But the whole thing is sizzling. Let's check our rice real quick. You guys with me? Yeah, you are. The bottom of our rice is once again sticking. but we're checking for doneness of the grains. And they're done. One of the most awkward rices I've ever had, but they're done. Okay. I'm going to lid that off the heat until I need it. I think we're going to turn the heat off on the chicken and let that roll over on its own. We are going to do a bunch of scallions. In a little black dish. I need that knife. Okay. Boy, it's not coming together real quick, but I think all of a sudden it's going to turn into a thing here. Okay, so I need to oil that bowl lightly with something semi-neutral. And I'm going to use olive oil, which is the least neutral. Second least neutral of the available oils. The least neutral would be the sesame oil. But if you want your rice dome to release on your plate neatly, you really need to oil the bowl that you're forming it in. I've only done that a few times with you guys, but it's very important to do fun rice shapes. And I wasn't going to do this, but then I let my rice get really sticky, so it's perfect for making a rice dome. So we're making a rice dome. It always takes more rice than I think, because you completely fill the bowl. You don't just do a normal serving of rice. You fill it to the brim. Okay. Rice dome. And that should have given us rice dome. Perfect. That is hot. going to make a little pile of our refried chicken on the side here and adorn it with the legs. My rice dome has sagged just a little bit, but it's still domey. It doesn't look like it's actively sagging, so we should be in the clear. It, of course, needs a decorative splash of green. And I think what I'm going to do, I was going to try putting these on the plate, but the rice dome takes up a lot of room, so we're going to do it separate instead. Ooh, ooh. And this is the spicy sauce from our fajitas, which will provide the primary spicy pepper component of this whole dish. Shan't go quite as hard. I mean, the chicken is pale. I could give it just a dusting of paprika. But I think the vision here is that the chicken is the paler element compared to the rich red rice. I didn't pick up any new parsley. My parsley went off while I was gone. I mean, I could give it a little slash of fajita sauce. I could give it a pinch of just kind of a scatter of these things. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call that the dish, and I'm going to go take my photos. But like the Hainan rice, the Hainan chicken that I had in my head at the start of this, I have done that. I got whole ones actually, and I recommend not getting whole ones. They're very, very hard. They are as hard as little pieces of gravel, and they're so hard to use when they're solid. Just get the powder, and it'll do it for you. What was I saying? The Hainan chicken so as a visual thing, I have both looked at Hainan chicken and jollof. And when jollof is served with chicken, it is usually either fried or baked, so it does have that more of a brown color, but Hainan chicken is traditionally poached or steamed and is very pale. And that's part of the dish, is that yellowish pale of the chicken skin. Because then all of the toppings are these bright, oh, I know what, crap. Crap. I know what I forgot. I realized what I forgot. I realized what I forgot. We're gonna have to go back and take more pictures because I'm making another little dish with gherkin. Because the acidity is the element that we don't have. So, back we go, because I want to take a picture with all 4 little dishes. And then we're done and we're going to eat. I thought about a pickled onion, but there was so much onion in the rice already that I decided not to, and then in the process of that, never got back around to doing a second pickle. And then I just decided at some point, I'll just do, because I've got gherkins, we'll just do that. That's a nice acidity contrast. And then I forgot about it until just now. So. Okay. For real this time, we're back. I get this before it gets cold. Pickled daikon, that like bright yellow pickled daikon, I think would be really good here. If you can find it, I think pickled burdock would be really good here. Because it would also give a really, really strong texture contrast, because that stuff stays very crunchy even when pickled. Okay, we're back. We've taken our photos. We've ended up using quite a bit of chicken. Where's my, oh, there it is. I got out a spoon for a different reason. Rather than get another one dirty, I will just use that one. Since I have so little ginger in it, I think pickled ginger would be a good accompaniment here. I wanted to put some fresh ginger in the rice, so in that case I think we'd be doubling up on ginger. Otherwise I do really like pickled ginger. Do I have any pickled ginger? I don't think I have any of that either at the moment. I've got a lot of stuff in here still. Anyways, no more additions. No more additions. We are at eat now. I'm going to start with the rice by itself. Here's my taste and pace. No, it's rich, it's savory, it's got a little bit of tang to it, but not really strong. The rice is, for all the time it was in there, just like al dente. It's not crunchy, but it's got a little bit of a resist to it, which is good because I was afraid that I was going to accidentally make this into a tomato risotto or a red risotto. Honestly, it's good enough, and this is the thing. I based the flavor profile heavily on jollof. jollof is good enough to just eat as a meal. And that, because I just copied the idea there, is good enough to just eat as a meal. I'm curious, because the only bit of the chicken I didn't try was the leg here. So we're going to go right in on a piece of leg. Mm. You know, it's fall off the bone tender. It's a little bit less succulent than the thigh pieces were. It's just it's not nearly as dried out as the breast pieces were, but it's a little on the drier side. But it is fall off the bone tender. I really like it. Picked up some flavor from the pan, and it's got these little crispy bits, which I'm not sure what crisped up in that pan. Oh, hold on. We have to try the this part of the chicken though. The crisped up breast pieces. I don't know if you could hear that. They've got a little crisp to them. They're still a little dry, but they're less a little dry than they were. A little Flemish. Oh, were you here already? Yeah, you resubscribed. Um, the flavors are very good. That was some salt makes it so much better. The chicken was very bland. I didn't do anything to the chicken. I just chucked it in the pot and cooked it. Some salt makes it so much better. And now I wonder if just like putting an inch of salted water at the bottom, or even an inch of like basic chicken stuff. Some salt, yeah. And then yeah, freshening it up in the pan there. I think just cooking the other breast into a sauce would help rehydrate it. But it picked up a lot of the fat. I can taste the lamb fat. It gives it some dimension. The garlic and smoked paprika are doing some work in terms of giving us some flavor character. Stuff's working out. And then, yeah, with the fixins, the whole idea of the Hainan chicken is you would just get plain white rice and some plain poached chicken, and then a whole bunch of fixins. And the fixins make it sing. So let's get some of that. Grab a pickle and dab of that stuff. Okay. No secret, Lao Gan Ma is doing a lot of work, because man, is that stuff good. But the fresh, crunchy pickle, the acidity, because the rice ended up being very rich. Let's take a. It's gonna be rice with each bite, right? So we'll take our spicy sauce. We'll take some chicken, some fresh scallion, and another piece of pickle. Well, that spicy sauce is still pretty spicy. If you missed it, that was our the spicy sauce from our fajitas, and it's got it's got chicken powder in it, right? Well, it's got one of these in it, so it's a stock-based sauce, and I loaded it up with hot peppers, and it came out very spicy. And it is still very spicy. Man, the pickles are a really good addition. I'm glad I didn't forget them. Because like you just take it, you take a dab of that, you take a little dab of the crack, you slap a thing on it, and you go. I think if I had my choice, I would replace the extra scallions. I would just put more scallions here, and then I would replace the extra scallions with like a different pickle. Oh, it's getting spicy. Because that's a good one. I think a pickled daikon or even a pickled red onion would be really good for like a 1-2 slightly different pickles, because this is oily and rich and savory, and this is savory and rich, and what it needs is those crunchy acidic things. And yes, the smart way to eat this is to grab. The smart way to eat this is to grab the big bowl, throw it all in there, stir it up, and just go nuts. But I'm doing it the showy way, where there's all these little separate things. I think I need to refine my process for. Man, it's so tender. It's just like your teeth barely even touch it and it falls off. I think I need to refine the process for cooking the whole chicken, but it definitely was not a fail. It was a success, just a moderated one. We can do this experiment again, because I do have another one in there, but not right away, because I've also got a bunch of extra chicken parts now that we have to deal with. Because I think I just went too long. I think if we just went less time and maybe flipped the guy over, it would have come out really, really well. I'm not sure I have much more to say. I think we have a success. My experiment was a success with need of further experimentation. If you want something that's just really delicious, do this. This is like, and if you want something that's really delicious, just take Lao Gan Ma and put it on any food item. Any food item. But if you do make something like this, don't forget the pickles. That's going to be my advice at the end there. That's my daily jovial hot tip. Don't forget the pickles. It's a new thing I'm doing. Daily hot tips. This might be the last one. The rice is very good. I like how it's got a little bit of fruitiness to it, which probably came from the tomato cube concentrate thing, because it has that sort of like dry tomato flavor, that sort of, tomato fruit leather flavor. You probably don't know, because none of you probably had that, but trust me, that's a thing. I like how these the shreddier bits turned out, because they soaked up a lot of that oil, and they also got crispy edges on them. Okay. Probably not going to eat the entire dome. I was intending to eat half of what I cooked, and this was a good 3/4 of it in that dome. So, okay, let's we made a mess. We once again made a horrific mess. Let's wrap up and head out. It's been 2 weeks, so I've forgotten everyone who has ever streamed. Tom is on. Mom is just getting rolling. I'm gonna raid Mom. We're gonna raid Mom. We're gonna raid Mom. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for tolerating my nonsense. Thanks for the hype train. Also, thanks to Jay, Rayuya, Jen, Flemish, Rayuya, and Bookwoman. First one. I had to scroll down for that one. For all of the subs and gift subs. And yes, the delightful little fish emote. Thank you, Rayuya, for once again being on top of things when I am not with the raid message. As I mentioned offhandedly, I would like to do additional streams, but I have been given all closing shifts this week. So that is probably not in the cards. If I make anything interesting with the leftover chicken, I will take pictures for you. Yeah. It's good to be back. It got kind of warm in the kitchen now, so I'm going to go in the cooler part of the house and eat this. Bye!